This is Ag Matters PM from the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network, brought to you by the Iowa Soybean Association, your daily recap of the information that affects Iowa's farmers, producers, and consumers, right here in the heart of the heartland. With reports from our award-winning broadcast team of Dustin Hoffman, Riley Smith, and Mark Magnuson. Now, from the IARN studios in Des Moines, here's Riley Smith.
Well, good day and welcome to Ag Matters PM from the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network. I'm Riley Smith. Today is Wednesday, February 15th, 2023. We're so glad you can join us today. In today's episode of Ag Matters PM, I talk with Iowa Agriculture Water Alliance Executive Director Sean McMahon about 10 years of the Iowa Nutrient Reduction Strategy. We also have a look at that ag weather outlook, but first, let's check the markets.
It's time now for the Ag Matters PM Closing Market Summary, your source for market analysis and settlement prices from the day's trade in Chicago, courtesy of the folks at agmarket.net.
At the end of another trading day in the ag marketplace, and for a bit of analysis, we go to Jacob Burks of agmarket.net. First off, Jacob, what have we seen going on in the grain markets today?
Well, it's definitely another follow-through from yesterday's turnaround Tuesday. A lot of red on the screen, which carrying through with some of the technical resistances that we ran into in corn and beans both. But you're 6-7 lower here in the front months of the corn market, which bear spreading into this. You're starting to see a little bit of just pressure come off this. I can't say that it's really profit taking or anything like that, other than just simple follow through. We've been in a range bound trade. There's really not a lot. We're still winding that band down in that spring, and it's all pulling together. Still in the consolidation pattern. Went up to 5.97 new crop corn overnight, and just stayed in a really tight range. I mean, we had a 4-cent range here today in the corn market new crop. So that was something that you're just not seeing a lot of volatility, which is good for some of these risk management strategies, but just not a lot of opportunity either. In the bean market, we did see some pressure down 13-14 cents in the front months. Again, bear spreading into this. The bears are kind of leading the way on the way down in the front months. Wheat market, Chicago down 16-17 cents. That's probably a little bit of profit taking. We've seen the funds come back into this market. We think they are coming back in this market. We haven't seen a COT report for a while, but led this bean market down with crush down a little bit. We saw the soybean meal down $10 at $4.90 today. The bean oil did catch a bid here, up 82 cents on the day as well.
Now, looking forward, are we kind of counting on a little bit of a status quo marketplace, or are there some things that could be coming up soon that might have an impact on the grain prices in particular?
That's a good question, a good point for our producers that are listening. This South American crop is big. We're hearing some just rumors of analysts and agronomists and stuff down there that are saying, hey, this Brazilian bean crop is really good. There's some rains coming through the South America or the Argentina area that hopefully are stabilizing, but they're pretty scattered. Coverage isn't as good as what they were hoping. So you still could see the same pattern that we've seen: Argentina production soybeans going down while Brazil's still going up. So those factors, the rains in Brazil have allowed for the slower harvest, so allowed for us to potentially get some more of these extended exports throughout our season, kind of extending our export season a little bit before a lot of their products get into ports. So that's kind of helped us out in a short-term way. But the reason that you're getting rains and you're building more product, building more supply down there, and I think that could long-term put us in a position where, hey, there's going to be some pressure. There could be some pressure on this market, especially if we go into a planting season that's relatively dry for us.
Right, and then just thinking back to how it is kind of right now, we don't have much volatility. Would you recommend now is kind of a time for maybe taking some opportunity to do some selling off if you still have that? Or is this a time of year where if you're going to do some selling, you want to look maybe for those higher prices and opportunities?
I think that I have been reluctant here lately as you go through this seasonal time. We typically get some opportunities into the spring as we go into planting for higher prices. So I haven't been extremely aggressive with making sales and encouraging cash opportunities out there. More so of using some put strategies that will protect me from that downside, protect me from a big collapse, but giving me upside to capture a movement up in the market. So I have been very aggressive with that. I think that the one thing that we have to look at from a seasonal perspective, typically we stay relatively flat through February and even have better opportunities, but we're not usually this high. I mean, if you look at the record prices that we have put in, compete if they're not the highest levels that we've seen for old crop, new crop corn and soybeans, we're probably in second place behind the 2011 to 12 timeframe or 2013. So I think I warn people to not get overly optimistic because of time of year and seasonalities, but go ahead and look at some strong risk management strategies, especially old crop. Man, these prices have a lot of profit wrapped up in them.
And then on the other side of the marketplace in the livestock complex, what are we seeing going on there today?
It was really quiet. Still kind of waiting on that cash, I think, in the cattle. You've seen the Packers slow to bid for these things, slow to come to the north and be aggressive, getting inventory. Pace yesterday was pretty strong. The kill was pretty strong yesterday. When we see weights coming down, they're chewing through their negotiated cattle, taking the contracted cattle in first, and then waiting to go out to the negotiated cattle that are going to end up having to buy to fill some of these orders. But box beef was up like $300 or $3 today. So a strong cattle market. This is just continuing to play out like a lot of people have talked about it, and we're starting to see some of these front months even rally over the back. Feeder cattle were up 20-30 cents. A pretty quiet day there. In the hog market, saw some recovery most of the morning, and then we end up selling off here later in the day.
Lots of great information today, Jacob. For those of our listeners and our viewers who would like to get in touch and learn more from the folks at agmarket.net, how can they do that?
Hey, we just encourage you to take a look at our website. Go to the agmarket.net and look at our intel. We give a 30-day free trial of all the information that we send out, which is a lot, daily and weekly emails, some webinars. If you also want to get in touch with me personally, just Burks at agmarket.net.
Thanks for taking the time to visit with us, as always, Jacob, and we look forward to hearing from you again soon.
Thanks, Riley. Have a good day.
That again was Jacob Burks of agmarket.net. We'll go ahead and take a look at how those numbers close. That's courtesy of the folks at Bar Chart. March corn is down 6 even at 676 1/4. December new crop down 2.5 at 595 1/4. March soybeans down 11 3/4 at 1525 3/4. November new crop down 8 even at 1375 even. March soybean meal down 9.90 at 491.10. Soybean oil up 84 at 61.24. Chicago wheat down 16 3/4 at 769 1/4. Minneapolis spring wheat down 7 1/4 at 924 3/4. Kansas City hard red wheat down 11.5 at 894 1/2. March oats down 8 3/4 at 357 even. On the Merc, April live cattle down 7 at 164.60. March feeders up 67 at 187.32. Lean hogs down 75 at 86.50. April pork cutout down $1 at 92.57. February Class 3 milk up a penny at 17.94. And that's been a check of the markets here on Ag Matters PM. We're going to go ahead and take a quick break to hear from our sponsor, the Iowa Soybean Association and the Soy Checkoff. When we come back, I talk with Iowa Agriculture Water Alliance Executive Director Sean McMahon. This is Ag Matters PM.
Iowa Soybean Association is driven to deliver for Iowa's 40,000 soybean farmers. We're proud to provide objective agronomic research, a helping hand with soil and water stewardship, and timely industry news powered by the Soybean Checkoff. Learn more at iasoybeans.com.
Welcome back to Ag Matters PM from the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network. I'm Riley Smith. Yesterday at the Agribusiness Association of Iowa conference at the Iowa State Fairgrounds, we talked about how it's been 10 years of the Iowa Nutrient Reduction Strategy. I had the chance to talk with Iowa Agriculture Water Alliance Executive Director Sean McMahon about what that means and how they're going to look forward to the next decade of the Iowa NRS. We are here with Sean McMahon. He's the Executive Director of the Iowa Agriculture Water Alliance, and we're talking about the Iowa NRS today. It's been 10 years, a pretty successful program. Just tell us a little bit on what those 10 years have been like and how farmers have been able to put those benefits into the ground.
Thanks, Riley. So the Nutrient Reduction Strategy turns 10 on May 29th, so we're not quite there yet. But today we just announced the soft launch of a communications campaign to talk about the incredible progress that we've made in improving Iowa's water quality in the first decade, the defining decade of implementing the Iowa Nutrient Reduction Strategy.
Well, and Iowa has been such a leader when it comes to these nutrient reduction strategies, and we're looking at cover crops and all those different things. Tell us a little bit about, some of the stats behind that. Iowa's really, like I said, just been a leader in that category.
That's right. In fact, Iowa is the national leader, Riley, in numerous conservation practices. So, for instance, cover crops, we now have 3 million acres, and in 2009, we had an estimated 10,000 acres of cover crops. So we've had exponential increases there. And Iowa cover crops are increasing faster than any other state in the nation. Also, conservation tillage. Iowa's again the national leader. 70% of Iowa's row crop acres are either in no-till, strip-till, or some other form of conservation tillage. And we're making tremendous progress on the edge-of-field conservation drainage practices, which were invented right here in Iowa. Things like saturated buffers, bioreactors, nutrient treatment, CREP wetlands. We've had a 900% increase in the number of acres treated by saturated buffers and bioreactors in recent years.
And how great has it been to see Iowa farmers be honestly so willing to pick that up, put that on their farms, and make that change that, we need to see. And of course, Iowa being a leader in agriculture, it's only natural that they'd be a leader in those conservation practices as well.
Yeah, the levels of adoption have been very impressive. But if you look back to the Dust Bowl, the dirty 30s as it's sometimes called, there's been a message, there's been a call to reduce our soil erosion, which Iowa farmers have heeded. We lead the nation in buffer strips and terraces. So Iowa farmers had about 90 years to reduce soil erosion. It's been a more recent call to reduce nitrogen loading. We actually have nearly implemented the phosphorus reduction goal in the nutrient reduction strategy in the first decade of implementing the nutrient reduction strategy, but we still have our work cut out to do with respect to reducing nitrogen loss. But we know what we need to do, increasing practices like cover crops and saturated buffers and bioreactors, and we're already beginning to make some great progress there.
Right, and of course, this is a group effort, a lot of partners involved with this. What are some of the groups and just the people and places that have been able to help out with this strategy? Because obviously, like I said, it's been a monumental effort so far.
Great question. Well, we've got the big three, IDALS, the Iowa Department of Ag and Land Stewardship, the Iowa DNR, and Iowa State University that started the nutrient reduction strategy a decade ago. But we also have more than 350 other partners from the public and private sectors that are working hard to implement the nutrient reduction strategy. So the strategy has really given us the North Star to align with, and it's been unprecedented alignment to have so many different organizations all pulling on the same rope at the same time and heading in the same direction.
And you mentioned as well that communication effort that you guys are going under this year that you recently just started or will be starting next week. But just tell us a little bit about that effort and how that'll kind of continue to appear this year and put the message out there for farmers.
Yeah, so the soft launch is indeed today at the AAI Showcase, and the full launch will be next week, February 20th. But folks can go to iowa10nrs.com to get more information and request a messaging framework and a toolkit and find out more about what we're doing.
All right, Sean, lots of great conversation today. Is there anything else you'd like our listeners and our viewers to know when it comes to the nutrient reduction strategy or anything else going on in the happenings of the Iowa Ag Water Alliance?
Well, we all have our parts to play in improving water quality, whether you're a farmer or a rural resident or if you live in a suburb or a big city. We can all do more to improve water quality, but particularly to the farmers and landowners out there, I would encourage you all and challenge you all to adopt at least one more conservation practice that can improve water quality here in the next year.
All right, Sean. Again, thanks for taking the time to visit with us today, and good luck with continuing with the NRS and looking out for conservation in Iowa.
Thanks so much, Riley.
That again was Iowa Agriculture Water Alliance Executive Director Sean McMahon. As for right now, let's go ahead and take a look at that ag weather outlook. Well, it looks like it's going to be winter again for the next couple days or so as we have winter weather advisories for a large part of the state. We're looking at potentially icy conditions based on where you are, but no matter where you are, we're looking at a lot of snow. Some areas looking at 6 to 12 inches or even just blowing snow is something to be concerned about. So let's go ahead and take a look at what the National Weather Service has in store for the next 24 hours and what that storm will look like for most of Iowa. As you can see from the National Weather Service, the weather shifting colder for just a little bit. Today we have cloudy and windy conditions with much cooler temperatures, those highs ranging from the upper teens to mid-30s. Tonight it'll be cloudy, then a potential for heavy snow, mostly after that midnight to 1 a.m. hour. lows ranging from about 10 to the upper 20s. Tomorrow we have heavy or blustery snow across most of the state, highs ranging from the low 20s to about 30. And taking a look at the affiliate weather map for tomorrow, Cherokee will be partly cloudy with those decreasing clouds and a high around 21. Shenandoah heavy snow and 26. Des Moines snowy and 28. Waterloo snowy and 23. Albia snowy and 24. And then Clinton will see snow, mostly blustery snow, and a high around 30.
For more detailed forecasts in your part of the state, make sure to check in with your local Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network affiliate. That's been a check of the Ag Weather Outlook, and that also brings us to the end of this episode of Ag Matters PM. You can find all of our content on our website at iowaagnet.com. You can also follow us on social media at Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, and LinkedIn, and you can find all of our video content as well as previous episodes of AMPM on our YouTube channel. So make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell to see when those videos go live. Don't forget as well our free Twice Daily Market podcasts on Apple, Amazon, Google, Spotify, and Podbean. From the IARN studios in Des Moines, I'm Riley Smith. On behalf of Mark Magnuson and Dustin Huffman, we thank you for watching. This has been Ag Matters PM.